And just like that, you're having me be your moderator as Salvation works out her situation when it comes to the backstage microphone. And I'm happy to have each of you here. We're coming off the heels of a wonderful and rather fantastic roundtable discussion, and series of roundtable discussions here at GatherVerse Summit, Day 2, AI Summit 2026. And I'm happy to see each of you that have come to join us for our last roundtable of the whole entire summit. We have a lot to unpack, and especially when it comes to the career path, we think about the bifurcation of the career path direction. Many people are becoming entrepreneurs, founders, and there are those that are in the public-private sector space, as we know, that are just wanting to look at and understand what is the magnitude of the disruption of the career path itself. So it's living with technical transition as it's happening. It's very interesting, isn't it, audience, that, and all of you that are still with us at GatherVerse.live, and we're streaming in so many different platforms right now. We're so happy to see that you're still with us and in various social streams as well. And before I turn this over to Salvi, I want to just lend this, if you will, this consideration that when you look at the magnitude of technical transition in consideration therein, both Rainey and Dr. Nagar and Lauren and Nolan and Salvation, when we think about this, most generations that have lived in the modern era, all the way, let's just say, from the Stone Age, and if we go from the Stone Age to Industrial 1, Industrial 2, and more, whether it's dealing in the farming evolution, most generations have never been in true transition. They've lived in a state of play where the thing that had transitioned into is what they were living. But for those generations that go from one generation to the other, they never had a guidebook. They never had a point of reference as to what's next. And they were all frontiers and pioneers in their own way. That said, I'll happily turn this over to Salvation Shiroka, and may our gather be well.
Thank you very much, Christopher. Thank you for helping me out there. Hello, everyone. Greetings and welcome to GatherVerse AI Summit 2026 and to the final panel discussion as mentioned. This is day 2, and I want to appreciate the speakers and moderators who have joined us from day 1 and also today to share the insight on AI and the future of AI, what we hope to see as we keep using, building, and even scaling AI. It's a great opportunity to be wrapping up.
Salvation, you're having issues with your video still. I'm just going to jump in for a second whilst you still sort your video, because I notice it's just freezing every now and again. So if you just want to jump backstage quickly, just sort your video out. But anyway, yeah, so let's get into the discussion, and apologies about that. So let's get into, first of all, let's do introductions. So we'll go over to Rainey, Dr. Nahal, and then we go to Lauren, and then Noen. So great to see you again, Noen. But Rainey, over to you first. Please introduce yourself and tell the audience who you are.
Yes, thank you. I am Rainey Steffen. I'm also known as Resourceful Rainey. And I'm kind of in a unique situation amongst all of these brilliant people today, as I am not in the tech field. I actually work with women who are going through transitions. And so this is a really important aspect of that, though.
Oh, it'd be very interesting to hear your perspective as well, Rainey, because you have a different lens than a lot of us have here. So it'll be interesting to hear your thoughts as we get into the conversation. So thank you for joining us, Rainey. And Dr. Nahal, is that how you say your name? Yeah, Dr. Nahal, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. So it's 10:15 p.m. here from Bahrain. So I'm a business professor at the Royal University for Women, the one and only university for women in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Originally Egyptian. And again, I totally agree with Rani. I'm a non-tech. I'm a business professor. However, of course, I have my own applications with tech. And of course, with the new generation, tech is in each and every step, in each and every class, and each and every discussion. We're trying to just integrate it well while developing their personal and human skills. So lovely being here today, and looking forward to a great discussion and a lot of learnings. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Dr. Nahal. Lauren, great to see you. Long time no see. Please tell the people who you are, because I know who you are, but not everyone else does.
Hi, Russell. Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren. This is Avery. This is my best friend, sidekick. She's sleeping right now, so she doesn't have too much to say. But I am an emerging technologist. I got a master's in VR in London at the University of the Arts London. I've done some AI projects such as a deepfake for Drake, and I went on tour with him, which was really fun and an exciting part of the beginning of my career. I'm working on some projects right now with GatherVerse to create social media snippets to get everybody's, essentially their segment out and elongate that and show it to the world after people are done speaking. So I'm excited to get that moving. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us, Lauren.
A streak now on GatherVerse summits. I feel like I've been on pretty much all of them since. I don't know.
You have,
which is exciting.
And also you're an incredible part of the team now as well. So it's exciting to have you with us. And Salvation has joined us now. So what I'll do is I'll hand the microphone over to Salvation so she can finish off the introductions, and then the show will continue. So Salvation, I will hand the microphone over to you.
Thank you very much, Marcel. Thank you. Hello, everyone. And I'm sorry about my audio and video there. It's good to be here on the panel. I am Salvation Chigeraka, Global Programs Director at GatherVerse. And I'm so sorry, I may have to ask Lauren to kindly introduce herself again. And please, if you do not mind.
Hi, everybody. I'm very happy to see you, Salvation, again, and Russell too. Me, I am a woman in tech, to be fair, since 20 years now. So, and I start my career in data center market. So that it is where I start my life. So a long time in a company, and now I'm my own company, where I support other company to live the transition we live due to the technical transition. That this technical transition has huge impact, business, economical transition. We change the business model. We don't leave the product or service as we did that 5 years ago. Social and societal transition, clearly. So long life learning, how we learn tomorrow, what will be our job, and how we work all together and collaborate. And don't forget the ecological transition. So that we have to take care of our planet. So yes, I am a woman in tech. It's true. I love that, especially emergent tech. But we have also to remind us that not all innovation is high tech. It could be also low tech, because our resource in our planet is limited. So yes, so it is what I do now. It is 4 years I do that. And in parallel, I am a member of international NGO, who it is advocacy for women's rights, especially in economy area, and I have an accreditation at UNESCO.
Wow, thank you very much, Noreen, and glad to see you again on another panel. A lot of impact work you're doing there. Great work. Sorry, Rainy, please, kindly.
Are we introducing ourselves again? Is that what we want to? Okay.
Me too. So please.
Okay, great. I'm so sorry. So my name is Rainy. I also go by Resourceful Rainy online, and I was explaining that I am not in tech. I feel kind of out of sorts with all these brilliant people as I'm watching this. But I work with women who I say have lost a title, and that can mean many things, but often it is a career, and so they are having to relaunch their lives. And so I have a little bit different take on what's happening with AI.
Thank you very much, Noreen. I'm glad to have you join us here on this panel conversation. Yeah, okay. Please, Dr. Niha.
Hi, Salvation. Hi, everyone. So again, once more, it's a pleasure being here. Thank you, GatherVerse. It's a great opportunity to be here. Again, I'm a non-tech business professor at the Royal University for Women in Bahrain. However, I'm Egyptian. So again, I deal with students. I mentor students, of course, and with my teaching and in the classroom, we do a lot of tech aspects, and students, they bring tech into the discussion, and of course, with a lot of tools and ChatGPT and a lot of resources being used in assessments. We have to do like blended learning techniques, of course. And I'm here to share and, of course, to learn from all of you. So, yeah, enjoy the evening and looking forward to a great discussion. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Dr. Nihal. It's good to have an education is on the table. Lorraine, please.
Hello, I'm Lauren. This is Avery. She's still sleeping. This is my dog. There we go.
Oh,
Avery and I are a package deal, so I always have to introduce her too. I am an immersive technologist. I've done some AI projects. I mentioned before going on tour with Drake, which was one of the most fun things and innovative things that I've done so far. We made a deepfake for him that toured live on his most recent tour. And since then, I'm working on a project with GatherVerse, and we're working on essentially little shorts, like TikTok format snippets for people that have spoke on panels, and different segments of GatherVerse to take short form content and post that to their LinkedIn and YouTube Shorts and Instagram and all platforms to essentially continue and promote the conversation. Yeah, I have a master's in virtual reality, which I studied in London for, and that was a really cool experience, not only to deepen my experience in VR, but also to get a new cultural experience and be able to live internationally. Hi, Russell. You're back.
I've had to jump in and save the day once again, like swinging like Tarzan kind of thing. So, but thank you very much, Laura, for sharing. But have we even begun the questions? I don't know if we have or not. So let's get straight into the questions. So I want to get Rainey on board, and then we'll go over to Dr. Nihal, then we'll go to Lauren, then we'll go to Noen, which is like the original lineup. So Rainey, question one for you. How can lifelong learning be achieved for everyone? Because you have a very unique perspective, Rainey, and I'm very interested to hear this. So please do share with us what your thoughts are on this question.
Well, I think one of the most valuable things that everyone can do for themselves is just to be curious. And I know I'm addicted to learning. And I think that being curious about the world around us is one of the most impactful things that we can do for ourselves, and encourage that in others around us, because we often are in touch with those who do become a bit complacent, and then they're kind of bitter when they are left behind. And so I think just being curious about things, and it doesn't need to be all about technology, right? It's just about the world that we live in. We just need to learn more about it.
And also, knowing how to use the AI, right? I mean, being able to prompt it, being able to speak with it, being able to listen to it, etc. Just basic stuff like that. So Rainey, I completely agree with you, and remaining curious, absolutely. So thank you very much for sharing, Rainey. And I'm going to go to Dr. Nihal now. Rainey is saying, remain curious. Do you agree with that?
Yes, totally. Of course, there's a lot to be done, especially for our generation, because we're trying to cope with the very high-paced technology. We need to do a lot, but of course, learning from others, like even I learn from my kids, I learn from my students. So again, this is how you pick up faster. You need to, of course, to value the time, because as it is very high-paced, you need to focus in order to grow properly in time. And of course, you need to know what you can add or what you can actually introduce to the environment around you, and this what you identify where you're lacking or you're lagging. So this how you try to follow the pace. But the thing is, sometimes you don't just follow the trend. You need to know new things, of course, learning new things that most people would know. But again, sometimes you need to know things that people won't learn, just to be able to do things that other people won't do, like in the near future. And this is how you achieve things differently.
And maybe you could even potentially, teach that also to other people, right? So they can learn too, right? So
of course.
It kind of reminds me when I first started learning AI, I was like, I have no idea. I mean, when I even first learned about technology, I was like, what is a mobile phone, right? Just very simple things like that. So it just like how Rainey said, right? Just remaining curious, learning, and just continuously learning. Do you agree now, Dr. Nahal?
Of course. So continuous learning and development, of course, and of course to create like some sort of like accessible yet flexible learning. And again, just by maybe asking the right questions and seeking information from the people around you, know what they know, and just cope with whatever is happening. Totally.
Well, thank you for sharing, Dr. Nahal. Lauren, we're going to go over to you now. Very curious to hear your thoughts. And my question to you, Lauren, is what responsibility do employers have during displacement? Maybe I'm just curious to hear your thoughts, Lauren, because you've worked with famous people, so to speak, but you've also worked at GatherVerse now. So what it's a very interesting question.
Displacement, would you define that as AI taking people's jobs?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think that it can be a really, like, AI taking some jobs can be a really good thing. Like all of the tedious, mundane stuff where you're just like inputting numbers and it's like the same thing over and it requires no brain power. I think like if you can automate that and then just kind of review it, that's super efficient. So I think as an employer, it's their duty to make sure that the employee knows that they're not necessarily being replaced, or hopefully not being replaced, and they need to keep up with these skills and learn these skills in order to, as a whole, become more efficient, and as a team, have things move faster and more efficiently. That way, hopefully we can then focus on more fun things and more creative things and things that AI can't do. Because like all the creative work, I feel like most of the time, at least at this point, it's up to the human. And even the AI tools that can create creative projects, it's also still like up to the human to decide like what looks good and what are we actually going to go through with and what's going to be pushed forward and what's going to be kind of thrown and tossed off to the side.
That's true.
Empowering
That's true.
Employee rather than kind of scaring them. And I think empowerment is kind of the biggest.
I saw an interesting statistic which said that there's going to be 150,000 new jobs created, right? And I think also they mentioned something like, I can't remember the exact number, but it might be 300,000 jobs are going to be lost, like job titles in total, but there's going to be 150,000 new titles created. So it's kind of like, how do you find that balance within this new world, this transition, so to speak? How do we, both from the employees and the employers side, how do we balance that so that we can obviously keep employees, but also maintain the employers as well, as in like having and run their business, for example, but also the employees in terms of them having jobs? So I think it's a balance, Lauren. But I don't know. Do you agree with me on that, or do you totally disagree? Like, Russell, what you want about?
No, I think, like I said, like there's definitely some jobs that I think it's a good thing for AI to take, because whenever like all the admin jobs and stuff like that, like a lot, I don't know, some people probably enjoy it, but for the most part, I think most people would rather do like more creative, mentally challenging things. So yeah, it's not necessarily bad to use something like an AI assistant that's going to be much faster and more efficient and probably not make mistakes when they're tired. And then you can have it work 24 hours a day instead of 8 or whatever.
True, that is very true, Lauren. And thank you for sharing with us as well. Nguyen, my next question for you is, how do young people plan careers in constant uncertainty? We were just talking about that just a minute ago. So what are your thoughts on this?
So, I love your question, because many people today discuss about uncertainty. We live in uncertainty world, but it was already the reality 20 years ago, 50 years ago. It doesn't change. I'm so sorry, but that is the reality.
Okay, maybe more uncertainty, Nguyen. Like,
I can't say that. It is our feeling today. It is what we heard. But to be fair, after the Second World War, nobody know what would be happen. Before the 2000s, so many people imagine it will be a breakdown and all the data center will break up. So I'm so sorry to say that, but it's not more uncertainty now than in the past. So that it is the thing. That is my personal perception. Okay. To be fair, that we know that is true. I will not say AI because not only AI. So the first industrial revolution is not only AI, it is also quantum, 6G, post-quantum. So it's technology, okay? So today many people speak about AI because it is on the mass market because they use ChatGPT or DeepSeek or something like that. But they forgot also that AI is a huge opportunity for innovation because we accelerate the development of new products. So that we forgot that. So for you, and we have to, before to answer to your question, we have also to remind us that we live a huge, big sweep of our demographic area. So there's a working group. Okay, we know that we decline in high-income countries, like all countries in Europe. I'm sorry, but it is a reality. But in other countries, like in Africa or like in South Asia, some people don't have access to internet. So for them, I'm sorry to say that, but for them, technology and AI, it is a huge, huge opportunity. So how do we plan a career? To be fair, I have no plan. Clearly, because if you ask me 3 months ago, I will be with you. I did not know that because we create a change. Also, we have to create a change to see you. I create a change because GatherVerse, it is Lynn from Kenya. I support her 2 years ago, and now I'm connected with you. So I get that young people should stay, as you mentioned, all of you, curious, engaged, believe in their dream, and do what they want. To be fair, do who they are. And for me, what's important for a young generation is a plan. The plan today is not for 5-10 years. It is for 1 year, 2 years. Okay.
It has to be shorter timelines because AI is changing every day, so it has to be short timelines.
You can't. It's true for young. It is true for us. For adults, I'm an old lady, to be fair, already compared to the young generation. I'm sorry to say that, but it is a reality. But what I discover, because I speak a lot with the young, I am a mentor, I do many things also, it is learn to learn. That it is a main skills. And it is very important to learn how you mindset, because it is cognitive science, but also understand better who you are, because cognitive science show you the motivation, all things around the motivation, what you will do, what you do. And for young generation, especially for young, because in 50 years, to be fair, I don't know where you will be. I have no idea, because we're not at maybe 70, we'll be on post-quantum. I don't know where you will be. It's too far. So learn to learn, share with others, and stay curious, I will say. It is the only way for a young generation to plan a career and create some chance and to be who they are.
First of all, I agree. Second of all, Rainey, I could see you nodding your head as well, agreeing with so many sentimentals and points there from Nguyen. So, Rainey, what is your point of view, not only when it comes to young people and planning their careers, but also all ages, right? What are your thoughts?
Well, and I want to make a brief point on the question that was posed to Lauren as well regarding corporate responsibility. And I don't think that, just as she was just speaking, like, it hasn't changed. Corporate responsibility to their employees is the same, because their responsibility, leaders in business and organizations, their responsibility is to maintain a healthy organization. So it is there for the employees that are working. Employees' responsibility is to be as valuable as they can. And so they need to learn how to use the tools available to them. And just as, is it Nowleen? How do you say your name? Nowleen? Okay.
No one.
I'm terribly American with it. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Rainey. We're okay.
I can't
I'm
twist
terribly
it.
American.
I'm so sorry.
I know, that's right.
Ms. Germain, I'll say that. So when I was in high school, and this ages me, PCs were just coming into, we would just got them in our schools, right? We were just learning how to, they were going to take all of our jobs. Well, what did we do? We learned how to use them. They are tools. And just like everything that is being put in front of us, it's a tool. How you use it is what sets you apart. And I don't care how old you are, it doesn't change. That is a consistent and will, as far as I can see, it will always remain so, regardless of what comes to us. We always have to make ourselves as valuable as we possibly can and understand that things are evolving, and we just have to do our best to use what's coming our way to our best advantage.
Completely agree. And I would just add to your point as well. You think about the industrial age that we went through. You think about, farming, back in the late 1800s and then in the early 1900s, where most people had farmer jobs and agriculture. And then, that completely changed as well. So there's many points of reference through history and human history that, we have adapted and gone as you've gone along, like the internet, how you're saying now, and computers. But the question is we don't know how we're going to change to this. So it's a very interesting time indeed. And I'm excited to see where it goes as well. And I just think, we have to do our best to navigate it, so to speak, and also guide it in the right direction too, to make sure that it is obviously aligned with human values and everything else. So Rainey, thank you very much for your thoughts. Dr. Nahal, we're going to head over to you now. This is an interesting question. We'll be interested to hear your perspective of this. When your technical hard skills are automated, what remains of your professional identity? This is a difficult question, but it's a very interesting question too.
Okay, so before I answer this question, I have to it is actually relevant to whose responsibility is it in times of displacement or outplacement or replacement in any term. So again, it is reciprocal. It is a mutual responsibility actually that to give and get. And again, maybe we have to look at that, like in the past, we used to think like, okay, after 10 years, I want to become something, I enter into a certain discipline or area of study. However, nowadays, a lot of careers are not really associated or related to the area of studies. So again, we had to change, they had to change, and of course a lot of like maybe interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary aspects and topics have been entered into the equation. And we always have to ask ourselves, and again this has to do with our identity as well, what are we currently doing, what are we currently learning? So that this is the continuous improvement or whatever has taken place. We're looking into the experimental mindset. So again, it is the mindset of new skills, exploring new roles, exploring new industries. So again, it's not only the young people, it's us as well. So this is important to look into. We're looking at building more interactive, robust professional networks. This is totally in place. We're looking at ways of guidance and support, bringing in like elder or like I don't want to say older people, but basically expertise with whatever like new ideas and innovation. So it is this thing. So we're looking at different aspects, acknowledging, of course, the human and emotional aspect. So emotional intelligence is important. So we have to look into that, and areas of growth. So it is my how the organization is perceiving us as individuals. What is the impact I'm adding? As we mentioned, what are you adding to the environment? So the environment is changing. What can you add? How can you leave a mark with whatever is happening? So they still can bring you, like in the upcoming projects, they can still hire you for future jobs and so forth. So automation, as Rennie mentioned, and all of you have touched upon, it is changing. But how we utilize it, how we integrate it with our knowledge, how we can, like again, branding myself as part of the new era, whatever is happening. So
right.
of course, we have to look at these aspects.
No, it's very interesting. You bring up some very important points, and when you think about the whole restructure of not only society but also like professional jobs as well, it's kind of like, okay, I guess my question is everyone going to be having a professional job, or could it be that everyone becomes entrepreneurs?
Well, Russell, I believe our future jobs, they all depend on our decisions today. So
which goes back to what we said earlier. Yeah.
So you choose what you want to become in 3, 4, 10 years or more. And again, I have something I always mention. I teach entrepreneurship and I mentor students, and I'm in part of the ecosystem here in Bahrain proudly. But the thing is, I believe, and I've seen that happening with my students and even in startups, not everybody is an entrepreneur. I can still have the entrepreneurial mindset in some aspects. I can start a business. I can have a great idea, but I don't have to open the business. I can be part of a very successful ecosystem. I'm a faculty member. I always say I'm a faculty entrepreneur. So I practice my entrepreneurial.
That's a good idea. Like
totally. Because again, I still take risks. I have innovative ideas. I participate with my students. I introduce new ideas and innovations. I add value in different ways. I put the learning component within. So I have my way. I can easily open my business. I had my consultancy firm before being in academia. So it's different things. But it's the decision that you have to make. So I can still practice entrepreneurship in different ways. I need to know exactly where I can add value. What am I bringing to the table?
Which actually brings me to Lauren, which she was saying about creativity, and obviously even you brought it up too. So I guess let's naturally transition this to Lauren now, and thank you for sharing, Dr. Nahal. Which is, Lauren, when we talk about creativity, when we talk about jobs, when we talk about all this, restructuring and changing, I guess my question to you is, let's not do that question. Actually, I want to ask you a specific question about the creativity side of things and the entrepreneur aspect. Do you agree with Dr. Nahal as what she's saying in terms of that people are still going to have professional jobs, and that is going to be, the mindset of entrepreneurship is going to be integrated? Or do you potentially think that everyone is going to be an entrepreneur, so to speak, but are going to have, let's say, a whole entire army of AI agents working on your behalf? I know this is a bit of a controversial question. This is a bit of a futuristic question. However, this is kind of the world that we're heading into, so to speak. So, Lauren, from your perspective, when we're talking about creativity, when we're talking about careers, when we're talking about professional, etc., what are your thoughts on just that sort of futuristic question that I just asked there?
Yeah, I think it kind of comes down to the individual. I think that if anybody has the desire to be an entrepreneur, it'll be a lot more achievable and manageable now because you have many more resources. And like you said, with AI agents, it'll be you don't have to hire as many people. So like teams that used to be like 30 people can now be like 3 people, because you have these AI agents that can do everything that people were doing before, but much faster. And you can build off of one agent. So if you start training an agent and what used to be a human decided like that they needed to move for some reason, or they need like a family member got sick and they had to take time off and stuff like that, like these outside deterrents, I guess, for lack of a better word, or distractions maybe, are not gonna happen, or no one's gonna get sick. So you have a lot more resources to take an idea and just kind of run with it. So yeah, I think if you have the desire to be an entrepreneur, it's a safe way to go, because then you don't have someone that can fire you. And yeah, so I do think a lot more people will become kind of like freelancers and solo creatives, rather than trying to go work for a team, just because we have more resources and we have like, armies that we can create ourselves, and we can kind of tailor exactly to what we want to do. And we're not going to have like differing beliefs. Whereas like in a traditional workforce, if you do have differing beliefs, there's like the personal aspect that can cause you to maybe butt heads or not get along with somebody as well. But it's much easier to just kind of focus on work with agents.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for playing along, Lauren, and also answering my futuristic question. And second of all, I do agree with you in many aspects there. And it's just an interesting world that we're going into. And as Rainey says, remain curious. Always learn and remain curious. So anyway, Nawad, we'll jump over to you now. This question is specifically for you. How do people navigate the grief of leaving expertise behind to start again as a beginner? Nawad, I know you'll have the mindset for this. So I'm going to throw the question to you.
Yeah. So you mentioned that first of all, we should stay curious, but it's not easier sometimes, to be fair, because it's not mandatory to go outside the box. Sometimes it's good to be in your comfort zone, and some people don't want to change, and that is okay. It's not mandatory to go outside all the time. That it is true entrepreneur mindset, and is who I am. That is true also. So, when you are curious and you all the time this desire to learn. So I give you an example. Yesterday, I go to an exhibition, about broderie. So very far away from the technology, broderie, and it's very from art, craft, and something like that. Amazing, to be fair. Me, I learned so much. I learned so much how people do product, take time, reflect. I say, wow, it's just amazing. To be fair, we never started that. It's not me. It's not me. However, when you decided to go on one way or to discover a new area, a new sector, you have to accept, and that is very difficult, to be fair. You have to accept that you are a beginner. You don't have at the beginning the expertise. It is the same when you start to do a prompt on ChatGPT or anything. At the beginning, you are very, I'm sorry to use this word, a stupid person, to be fair. Like children, children who start to learn and say, I don't know, I make a mistake in the word. So it's very difficult because you have to accept you have an expertise. Yes, it's true. But in another way or another sector, you are completely a beginner. And that not everybody accepts that, because in terms of emotion, because it is linked to your emotion, to be fair. So it's not so easy, this feeling you can have in your body. And it depends your environment, clearly. If being around you, you have a very good environment who tell you, yes, try, you will discover. It is a massive difference than in environment say, no, don't try, it's not for you, and blah, blah, blah. It will be a nightmare for you. That it is a French mindset, probably. So
No comment. No comment. I plead the fifth, as they say in America.
When I create my company, many people told me I am completely crazy. Many people will give me many reasons that I should not to do that. And I am in tech. I am in innovation. I am a woman. But today, after 4 years, people they come to see me and say, "Okay, Nanwen, you do it." Yes, I do it. I follow what I want. But I don't listen everybody. I listen who I am. I listen what I want. I accept to be a beginner. I am completely agree, Lauren, with you. When you are alone at the beginning, you are very creative. You have so many ideas because you don't have the other resources as a big company. So you have to be creative. But it's not possible for everybody. I'm sorry to say that, but that it is a reality. So, or if you, everybody can do it, but it will take more or less time according people. So
well, thank you for sharing your thoughts on one, and yeah, very interesting. You brought some very interesting insights there. Even things for me to kind of think about as well. So, Rainy, I want to head over to you, and I want to ask you this question: how do professionals stay resilient when mastery is constantly moving, especially in the lovely days of AI?
Well, resilience is something that I am a bit of an expert in, so this is great.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that I teach. I feel that we need a more resilient and self-reliant world, and so this fits in. So I think just overall, not just in the sense of where we are in technology, and there are a couple comments that I want to address in the chat.
We'll jump to them in a second. Ask the question first, and then we'll jump to them after.
Yeah, total sidebar. I say, and this also kind of mirrors what Nolan was saying a moment ago, that everyone can learn. I teach that disruptions are opportunities, but all of that is a mindset, right? We can either, poor me, I'm being replaced, left behind, whatever that is, or we can take a look at it as, oh my gosh, look at the opportunity that's in front of me. I can do whatever I wish at this point. We have to change the way we look at the world around us in these moments of disruption with I don't know what other word to use, but things are, like you said, things are changing every day. So if we decide to sit in yesterday, yeah, we are going to be left behind. So we just need to change the way we look at it and go, oh my gosh, look at all the possibilities that are sitting in front of me. What I did yesterday it's no longer relevant, but holy cannoli, I have a million things in front of me that I can do.
True.
That's the way that we look forward and just embrace the possibility.
Yeah, I mean, as Noan was saying earlier, she was saying about, how, we don't know what's going on next year, 5 years. And, we've always been uncertain, so to speak, as in her words, uncertain in every year or every day that we kind of move forward. So to your point, Rainy, you have to, embrace it, like how you're saying, move forward, and also, just continuously to learn, continuously to adapt, and also continuously to be curious, and a multitude of other factors too. So I do agree with what you're saying. And also, when I hear things like universal basic income and universal basic services and all this sort of thing as well, when they're saying, people losing their jobs and everything, and, they want to implement these, it's kind of like, how do we really, is that really the way to go to handle the job displacement? Is there another way that we can handle it? These are all questions that we have to answer as we're on this road. Like I said, as we're navigating it, but also guiding the AI towards human values as well. So, these are things that I do think about behind the scenes. Is kind of like, how do we navigate this as best as we possibly can, in a nutshell, really. So, but I completely agree with you, Rainy. So, Thank you for sharing. And we go over to you, Dr. Nahal now. My question for you is, beyond technical certifications, what are the most undervalued? Oh, sorry, Rainey. Sorry, Dr. Nahal. Rainey, we forgot. What was the comments that you wanted to respond to quickly?
So somebody was talking about that we need more digital jobs and not more bricklayers. And I do want to tap back into, while yes, robotics are going to be doing some mundane tasks, human discernment will always have value. And in the trade, so I'm an interior designer too. So trades are really important. And yeah, maybe we're going to have some robots that can lay bricks, but are they going to be able to do the same things, discern the same things that the human mind can in moments, right?
Right.
So I don't know. I just have an argument with that. Like, I still think trades are valuable. I don't think everybody needs to tap into all tech all the time. I think, and Nolan was also saying it's art, right? And even Lauren was talking about the creativity. All of those things are the human touch, and they're super important. Very, very important.
I'll just quickly add to your point, and then we'll move to Dr. Howell. My point that I would add on top of that is Jensen Huang, right? He said that we're going to need plumbers and electricians and now more than ever, because the trades are needed now more than ever to build out these data centers, etc. So to your point, Rainey, are there opportunities where you can earn six-figure salaries within specific trades? Absolutely, right? This is mostly the biggest time for some of these trades, more than ever. But again, it's also the displacement of all the other jobs is kind of like, okay, what's going to go on with the rest of the stuff? So it's that balancing act, like how I was saying. Dr. Nahal, I appreciate your patience and thank you for being patient. I kind of want to continue the question with yourself, Dr. Nahal, which is, beyond technical certifications, what are the most undervalued human-only skills in 2026? We talk about creativity, we talk about curiosity, we talk about all these different factors. You even listed a load yourself. So what is the most undervalued ones, though? Like, if you had to give a short list of even just three, what would be the most undervalued ones?
Okay, so of course, continuous learning is important. However, critical thinking and just to be critical to the tools that we're using, because one of the things, yes, AI or other tools might be correct at a certain incident, in a certain context. However, I need to challenge the information that I'm seeing, because I need to validate, I need to verify, I need to test. So if I take it for granted, and we have seen maybe some incidents, especially with young kids or young adults who don't know what they're talking about. I have seen some of my friends just like taking medical labs and just uploading and just taking the advice as if they are like professional physicians. So we need to actually have this critical thinking and just like believe in our competencies. We are still like above the technology. We are humans, but we know better. We know more. Of course, we can still go to other experts, but again, we have to trust humans as we trust technology. Of course. Yes,
Dr. Nahal, I'm gonna have to jump in because we're running out of time. But I do want to wrap before we round this up. I've requested another minute quickly, but before we round this up, what I want to do is I want to go to each and every one of you. One word in which you would like to see within the future, as in like a specific key skill that you would like to see. Maybe it's curiosity. You want that you continuous learning. Like, what is the one thing that you would like to see in the future? Maybe that's not a skill, but maybe something you want to see in a career. Like just one word, basically, of what you would like to see in the future. Basically,
critical thinker.
Critical thinker. All right, yeah. Lauren, over to you.
Empowerment.
That's a good one. Rainey?
Creative problem solving.
Oh, fantastic. And last but not least, Nguyen.
Learn by playing.
And on that note, thank you so much, panelists. Thank you to each and every one of you for joining us. It's been a fantastic roundtable. And on that note, make sure you follow each and every one of them, by the way, on LinkedIn. And on that note, our Gather was well. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye.
Over to you, GatherVerse team.